Looking for and hiring a criminal defense attorney for the first time can be terrifying. Your mind jumps to the worst case scenarios. How do I find the right defense attorney? Will it break the bank? Will I go to jail? Watch this video to get real answers, no legal fluff. I'm John Cannon, a criminal defense attorney here in Oklahoma, and in this video, we'll take the mystery out of hiring a lawyer. More importantly, I'm going to tackle the fears that keep people from making that call in the first place. Because the scariest part isn't the lawyers, it's the unknown. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. That way you'll always know what to expect before you ever step into a courtroom. One of the biggest fears people have is this: if I call a lawyer, does that mean I'm already in trouble? The answer is no. Calling a lawyer is not an admission of guilt. It's not a confession, and it doesn't trigger any action in court. It's simply a conversation, a way to get answers to your burning questions. And at my office, it will cost you nothing. Here's what actually happens. You call, you share a little bit about your situation, and that's it. Nothing gets filed against you, no judge or prosecutor are notified, no paper shows up at your door. You stay in control of what happens next. Not the court, not the prosecutor, not the attorney that you call. Talking to a lawyer is like checking the weather. It doesn't cause the storm, it just prepares you for it. And in many cases, that preparation is the difference between a rain shower and a tornado. Another major fear people have is, who will find out I spoke to you? Somewhere their spouse will be notified. Others think their boss will get a letter, or that the police will somehow hear about it and show up at your door. None of that happens. Here's the truth. Attorney-client privilege is one of the strongest protections in the legal system, and it applies even when you're only considering hiring an attorney. What you say to a defense attorney stays between you and that office, period. We don't tell your spouse, we don't call your boss, and we're certainly not picking up the phone to inform the police. If I did, I could lose my license to practice law. Confidentiality isn't just a promise, it's the law. And that means when you sit across the table from me, you can be honest without worrying it's going to blow back on you personally or professionally. And honesty matters, because the more open you are, the better an attorney can give you legal advice on what really happened. Let's talk about another fear people rarely admit: judgment. A lot of people hesitate to call a lawyer because they think their case is too small, too messy, or just too embarrassing. They imagine me sitting across the desk rolling my eyes, or worse, talking behind their back. But here's the truth. Lawyers have heard it all. Whatever you're worried about saying, it probably won't even make the top 10 worst things that I've heard. What feels overwhelming or humiliating to you is what we deal with every day. And that's not to minimize your situation, it is to remind you that you are not alone. My role isn't to judge, it's to strategize. You're not hiring me to be your priest or your therapist, you're hiring me to defend and protect your future. And the more honest you are with me, the better I can do that job. So if judgment is what's holding you back, let me be clear. You're not shocking me, you're not embarrassing me, and you are not being graded. You are hiring a professional to solve a serious problem, and honesty is the key to getting results. This is a big one. What actually happens when I meet with a criminal defense lawyer? Consultation is just a conversation. You tell me what's going on, I ask you questions to fill in the blanks, and together we identify the legal issues and your options. It's not rapid fire cross-examination, it's a strategy session. On my end, I'm looking for potential landmines, deadlines we need to meet, upcoming court dates, or risk if you wait too long. On your end, you finally get to stop carrying the weight by yourself and start getting answers. And that's important, because when it comes to your case, knowledge is power. The more you understand, the better decisions you can make. And here's what surprises most people. They leave that first meeting feeling lighter, because instead of panic and guesswork, they now have a roadmap. They have options. So if your fear is, what's going to happen when I sit down in your office? The answer is simple: a straightforward conversation and answers to your questions, clarity, and a plan. Another common fear: paperwork. A lot of people picture walking into a lawyer's office and being buried under stacks of forms, legal Latin, and fine print they'll never understand. But here's the truth. Paperwork is my job, not yours. If something needs to be filed, we draft it, explain what it means in plain English, and file it for you. You're not sprinting documents down to the courthouse like a character in a bad legal drama. People also worry about signing something they don't understand, but that's exactly why you have me. If something doesn't make sense, ask. If it doesn't look right, I will explain it. And nothing gets filed with your name on it until you're comfortable. At the root of this fear is really the idea of losing control. Nobody wants to feel trapped in legal jargon. That's why I'm here, to translate it, to make sure you understand it, and to keep you in control of every decision. So if paperwork is what's stopping you from calling a lawyer, here's the reality. We handle forms, we handle the facts, and together you and your criminal defense lawyer make your case move forward in the way that you understand every step along the way. Now, let's address the elephant in the room, money. A lot of people worry that hiring a lawyer will bankrupt them, like there's some hidden meter running every time they send a text or email. But here's the reality. Legal fees vary depending on the case, but nothing moves forward without a clear conversation first. In our office, all criminal defense matters are handled with a flat fee or value-based retainer, meaning you know the total cost up front. No hidden fees, no billable hours. And in many cases, payment plans are available. The goal is to protect you, not to ruin you financially. Here's the bigger perspective. Yes, legal help costs money, but it usually costs far less than the damage of going it alone. One wrong move in court, one missed deadline, one signature on the wrong form, those mistakes can be far more expensive than the fee to hire a great attorney. Your mindset should be, this is an investment in your future, not an expense. Another common fear, if I hire a lawyer, do they take over my life? Do I lose my say in what happens? The answer is no. You set the goals, your criminal defense attorney should build the strategy to get you there. Think of it like hiring a guide for a difficult hike. You choose the destination, a great attorney knows which paths to take and which to avoid. Yes, there will be times when your attorney strongly recommends a certain move. I've done it hundreds of times. But at the end of the day, it is your case, your future, and your decision. Your criminal defense attorney should lay out your options, explain the risks and rewards of each, and then fight for the path that you choose. That fear of losing control often comes from bad experiences or horror stories. Lawyers who steamroll clients without explaining what was happening, lawyers that steamroll clients without explaining what was happening. That's not how it should work. Good lawyering means clear communication and clients making informed choices at every step. The truth is simple. You're not handing your life over to your lawyer. You're hiring one to protect it. You make the decisions. Your attorney should make sure those decisions are informed and that you don't step off a cliff in the process. And finally, the biggest fear, the worst case scenario. What if I go to jail? What if I lose everything? Here's the truth. No lawyer can guarantee an outcome. But I can guarantee this, doing nothing because you're afraid makes the worst case more likely, not less. The only way you fight jail or financial ruin is to have someone in your corner early. Think of it like ignoring smoke in your kitchen because you're afraid of calling the fire department. The fire doesn't care about your fear, it's going to spread either way. So if your fear is the worst case scenario, understand this. Calling a criminal defense attorney doesn't make it happen. It makes it less likely because now you've got a strategy. Deadlines covered, and someone ready to challenge the system when it overreacts. That's how you protect yourself. So here's the bottom line. Hiring a lawyer doesn't blow up your life. It doesn't expose you, bankrupt you, or take away your control. What it does is give you clarity, confidentiality, and someone in your corner who knows how to navigate the system. Every fear we covered is rooted in the unknown, and the way you fight fear is knowledge. The second you call a criminal defense attorney, you start the process of making the unknown become known. The hardest part is making that first call. Everything after that is about taking the weight off of your shoulders and partnering up with the right attorney to help you navigate the road ahead. I'm John Cannon with Cannon Associates. If you're facing a legal issue and don't know where to start, we offer free case strategy sessions. The link is below. Don't sit with fear. Take the first step and let's build a plan for your better future. Contact us today. Before you go, make sure you hit subscribe to this channel. Every week, I share practical strategies to help you protect yourself, protect your rights, and face the legal system with confidence.